Hi there. Uh, I'm a little dubious about making this video because I think I'm right to assume that people don't want to hear another asshole talking about what's going on in Gaza right now, and do they really want to hear what some cosseted Jew in Brooklyn who is looking to expiate his guilt or over the advantages that he has and the virtue signaling element of it all, which I think is indisputable. Like that's probably what you're looking at right now. Uh, but I am a father of two. And when you become a parent, uh, I also have cats. When you become a parent, it does a lot of things to you. One of the things it does is it changes you in terms of how much you can stomach what happens to children. Um, Rather obvious point. And in light of that, I thought I kind of wanted to uh, ask the people who are not going to watch this, or the six people who might, what they think the value of the life of a Palestinian child is worth next to the life of an Israeli child, because evidently it is 5 to 1 or 1 to 5. I'm not even really sure since math is not my long suit, but it seems like for every one Israeli child who dies, that we are allowing for the loss of 5 Palestinian children. I mean, that's pretty broad math, but that's what we're looking at right now. Uh, I don't know how else to put it. Um, we're There was a terrible assault and an atrocity committed on October 7th. Uh, but there is an ongoing atrocity occurring right now. Unless, I was thinking it's very possible that these Palestinian children were in on the assault. After all, they must have voted for Hamas. Uh, I don't believe there's been an election in Gaza since 2006. And these children in the womb, or even before they were a gleam in their mother's eye, they clearly voted for Hamas. And I have no doubt that they were there. They were along for the assault. They were there at the kibbutzes. They were there at the Desert Rave. They had little miniature Kalashnikovs in their hands. They had submachine guns, microscopic submachine guns, and definitely the babies in the incubator. They were there. I mean, God knows they leapt out of the incubators. They joined in the assault, and then once it was over, and they took the baby hostages back by the hand. It was one baby leading another. They got right back into the incubators, and so they could actually kind of act as their own human shields. They're not just civilians and babies; they're Hamas babies, and they're there as human shields. The other thing is that I just watched the UN Security Council, the Israeli, uh, he was a member of the council, and he was comparing Hamas to the Nazis. He was comparing them to ISIS. And I advise you, I entreat you to watch how they're framing this. Because if Hamas is ISIS, then you are decoupling what's going on from any kind of history, because ISIS were going for a caliphate. Hamas is not looking for a caliphate. Uh, they are ultimately, and I hate to say it because they're bastards, clearly, based on what happened on October 7th and several other things that happened over the years. But they're not a caliphate. And it's very clever to call them ISIS, because then you remove the historical context of what Israel has done to Palestine if you do that. And if you call them Nazis, well, then all bets are off. The problem with that comparison is the Nazis were on the power side of the partition. The Jews were not during that period. There is no existential threat to the Jews at large right now. And if we're going to be facile and loose with language, go ahead, you know, have at it. Uh, but I gotta say, like, it's really demoralizing to watch these people use facile, mendacious language and to see it working. Anyway, I don't know. Um, there is so much to object to here, uh, but mostly, I don't know why every single member of Congress, every senator, isn't isn't appalled at what's happening. I don't know why there aren't a gazillion Americans marching in the streets. And I want you to ask yourself, and this is really hard for me to say because I'm a Jew, and I had there's a member of the family, Izzy, and he used to sort of joke about how he misses his friends from camp, and uh, he was I forget which camp it was. It was an extermination camp, and he asked an older Jewish man like where his parents were, and he pointed to a smokestack, and he said that's where they are. And so I'm not inured to what history is, but you have to ask yourself, and as a Jewish person, you got to ask yourself,